Good evening.
Good evening.
Drums, Mr. Matthews, Gabriel Matthews. Drums are from the easiest to the hardest. As you already done, you can play just one tom, or the snare, or the bass, even the cymbals, crash, hi-hat. And so most people say, I can play the drums. And technically, you're right. It's actually called percussion. What you're saying you can play is percussion. Drums is a set, as you see here. And sometimes they come with two toms. And they're usually one a little bit bigger than the next, right? And you can have, if you've seen rock groups, when I was growing up, 30 cymbals. Because they do a lot of crashing on cymbals. So percussions is really what it's called. When I started, before 9 years old, I was playing congos and bongos. That's how I started. And then I moved into, after my brother exited, into the drums. Now I play by ear, so I don't do, say fourth beat, this. No, I just hear the beat and I play it. Okay, that's what playing by ear, just like playing a keyboard by ear. You hear the music and you pick it up and you play it. That's a natural ability. But even with natural ability, you have to practice, which is what I share with somebody today. Now, the key to playing by ear is when you sit down at a set like this, you have to understand that you have to play the basic beat. And that's my terminology, but it is extremely important terminology. Because most kids like you, because I was just a year younger than you when I started, want to get on and I'm playing, yeah! And the person who you're playing with is going, no, you're not playing. Now where I grew up, if you did not play well, they told you to get up. So where I come from is a little bit tougher than you're probably going to ever experience with playing an instrument. If you didn't play well, my sister on the keyboards, my father, uncle on guitars, etc. If you didn't play well, you had to get up. So I had to learn how to play well and fast if I wanted to play. Basic beats. I don't know if she has a metronome, but we call that a metronome.
I do.
Just tick, 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 tick. Really big time drummers. I know a drummer in California who's played with rock groups and made $10,000 a month.
Lucky.
Shh, not lucky.
And did all
talented.
That good stuff. Extremely talented was when he was still playing. Now he's playing bass and all that other stuff. When he was still playing, he was actually ranked in the nation of drummers. And all those drummers in the magazine I've seen, he knows most of them. Most of them. He's played for some of the biggest events I know in California. So I know some drummers who are extremely good. And actually he was the best place, by the way, for those who want to play drums, school band. I'm just going to tell you, I didn't do it, unfortunately. But I strongly recommend for those of you who actually want to play this instrument, school band. Because you say, how do you go from to playing this? They teach you that as you do it. Just like playing the guitar. Over time, playing the violin, eventually you're playing Beethoven. You don't start with Beethoven, but you work up to just doing, and then eventually you're playing Beethoven. Drums is very much the same. Again, from the basic, from this, see how basic I was?
Yep.
Now, for most of us, we don't want to get on and go. If I gave you lessons, probably about 50 times, you tell your mom, don't pay that guy because it's boring. But that's what you'd have to do with me. Because every instrument, for those who play them, has a discipline to it, much like singing. There's a discipline to it. Again, because if you play for my band and you got on and we're playing, but you got on, I'm going to go, next. Yeah, but I can play. But I don't need. So playing instruments, much like singing, for those who sing, alto, soprano, tenor, if they hire you to sing soprano and you're singing tenor, you have a problem. Okay. So when it comes to drums, you have to know how to play the basics. I got to make that clear to this age group. Because most of you get
That's
on
absolutely true.
not want to play the
Talking to you,
basics.
Ben.
And that's true of guitar too, because as we lose, I have more kids that want to quit because they want to play like, some big rock
And you
star
have yes.
before they even know how to play a chord. And you've got to, like any instrument, you have to start with simple and move up. You don't start reading the first day of school. You start with learning your ABCs and then learning your letter sounds, right? So same in music.
So we're all going to play the drums.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Is this going
We're
on
all going to play the drums. You're going to play just like I played.
All right.
Right now, we're all going to play the drums together.
I want to be doing
Okay.
You're going to listen
And I teach
first.
you how to do it. Now, there's only one set, but we're all going to play the drums. You're going to play just like I did at 8 years old, sitting at my dad's church, and my brother was on. This is how we're going to do it. Everybody scoot up on your seat.
No, not your chairs up, suit up on your seat. Follow directions.
Now, again, I learned to play by ear, so I had to mimic what I heard. Playing by ear simply means to mimic what you hear. And this is a great way to test if you probably will be able to ever play the drums. The drums, right? The drums. So I'm going to do a beat, and you're going to mimic it. You're going to mimic. Anybody knows what mimic means? Hannah.
Like, do it over again.
Copy it, yeah.
It is to
Copycat.
copy. So exactly what you hear me do, you do. Exactly what you hear me do, you do. Okay? Now your lap is the snare. This is the snare. Your lap is the snare. So when I do something on the snare, you do it. Both hands. Okay? Well, we got a riffle going on there. Your feet is the bass drum. Bass drum. When I do it, you do it.
Don't do it real hard because you shake the building.
That's not mimicking. And gently, since everybody's going to do it together, don't slam, because that's not how we play this. If I did that, I'd probably bust your eardrums, as well as bust this thing. So you can't play drums like that. And I know you see rock people, but they have a big old plexiglass around it. They're way back away from the band, and they have microphones that control their sound. So they can play as hard as they want, but their sound is controlled. Anyone ever seen that big, huge glass that they put around? There's a reason, because literally these things will destroy your eardrums. And friends I have that have been playing for a long time who play rock can't hear.
And a lot of that showmanship, right? More than really playing the
Really,
drum.
I can play everything you see them doing and just play it real calm. Anybody play the Wii? Anybody play the Wii like they advertise?
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, this is how I play the Wii.
I play rock band.
My son.
Comedy.
Because it's all in the remote. It's not in the body. So he's jumping up and down, and I'm going. Well, drums is the same way. Keyboard, some people. And I can just go.
And he probably sounds better than the one that's going all over the
They're
place.
missing notes, and the violin, and see them doing all this, and they're missing notes and not doing all the right fingering. Some of you, I hear you complaining in class because you want Miss Woodward to have you just on there. And you'd be hitting bad notes and all this kind of stuff. And my sister was here. She said, you know, you probably shouldn't play. She's a little tougher than I am. So we're going to play the drums gently together. I'm not going to be hard, so you don't be hard. My lap is my snare. It's called a snare. My foot is my bass what? Bass drum. So you're going to play in rhythm what I play. When I say go, then you go. When I say go, then you go. Listen. Remember, we're mimicking. You have to hear what I do.
Listen, then do it.
Go. Now, some of you are realizing that it's not always easy to move to move your body at the same time. Well, if you're here, that's what you have to do. That's one of the toughest things in playing the drums. It's called coordination. Much like playing sports for those of you who play. For those of you who play, especially things like basketball, where you have to do multiple things at any given time, or football, a receiver has to do sometimes 6, 7 things as they catch the ball. It's not just catch it. They have to avoid a defender, reach up, catch the ball, and all of this. Well, a drummer has to do, this is where it's a little bit different than this. They have to do multiple things at one time. Multiple things. I'm giving you really, really, really basic. I used to have my little sticks, and I'm a little 8, 9-year-old kid, and I'm sitting there and watching my brother, and I think I'm doing what he's doing. But the reality of it is, when I finally got on the drums after crying and crying and crying, I got on the drums, and then I got on there and thought I was going to do what he was doing, but I sounded like this. And my mother said,
Off the drum.
and I swore I was doing what he was doing. I could play. I couldn't play. So I was told by my father, who was nice and loving, you need to practice. And so I drove him crazy practicing to that, till I realized I wasn't doing what he was doing. So we're going to all play together. Let's play together. When I say go, you mimic what I am doing. Do it.
All right.
She added a symbol.
No symbols.
We're not clapping. We're not doing a symbol.
I want to do a symbol.
Stop.
Okay, listen.
We're all going to play together. Mimic what I do. Now pay attention. Do it. Some of us got it wrong. What did we do first? Bass drum, snare. Okay, everybody pay attention. Parker, sit up. Everybody stop. Good. Little bit better. Now these beats I grew up with. Everybody stop. These beats I grew up with, these are rap beats or whatever you want, hip hop beats or whatever. Really simple beats. These most people can get on a drum like this and play.